All right. Wow. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, October the 29th, and I cannot believe October has come and it will go soon. I hope everybody's doing well. Uh, I am also, just so you know, we're also multi-streaming and we are broadcasting live on Metaverse Radio. Before we get started, I do want to say something. I want to say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The hosts, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interests in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented, and not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. All right, my goodness, let's get started. So today on Tech Talk Tuesday, we have XSpectar's CEO, Dirk Schepens. So if you don't know, XSpectar, well, you know what? I'm going to let Dirk answer that. I'm really, really excited. I want to welcome him onto the stage. And I also, we're also joined by their official account as well. Well, good afternoon, you guys.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for the invite.
No, thank you for your time. I really, really appreciate it. What time is it there? Is it just like after 4 p.m.?
Yeah, let me check because I haven't slept a lot. Yeah, it's exactly it's 4:06 p.m. Yeah, Central European.
Oh, well, there you go. That's the life of a CEO.
Yeah, I was in a space with some Solana degenerates for 9 hours, and I didn't sleep a lot actually.
Oh my God, you're really deep in the Web3. I love that, and you've been tweeting a lot about ATM.
I tweet a lot, yeah, but we started out about 30 months ago, and I picked the XRP ledger because I knew the community pretty good. And then we had a very well-known 3D artist, Mao, a Chinese guy who lives in the Netherlands. He won multiple awards with his work, and we created an NFT collection. And our initial goal was actually to build some things in existing metaverses. But as soon as we wanted to do that, we realized that most of those projects either are nice white papers, ideological dreams, or just not that good. And that's when we decided to build something ourselves. It was a decision that I would have never taken if I would have realized how much time, work, and effort it would take. But yeah, I'm very happy that we did. And thanks to the community, we were pretty successful. We're still bootstrapping, no external investors, no VCs dumping tokens on community, and so on and so on. So 30 months later, we have our platform up and running. It's in beta testing. It's a downloadable browser, currently only for Windows PCs. It leverages Unreal Engine. And we have multiple wallets, multiple blockchains integrated in the backend. Currently also looking into expansion to other chains, probably EVM chains. We were contacted by Yuga Labs recently, and they apparently really like what we're doing. There is a mutual connection because ApeCoin DAO is a sponsor of the Alpine Formula One team, and we are one of their metaverse partners. So we got connected, and there might be some synergies in the future or something that we will do together. So lots of things coming up, always working 24/7, and then lots of things going on at the same time.
No, that is like fantastic. I cannot believe that you guys were up and running in 13 months. There's a lot going on in the XSpectar ecosystem. But Dirk, I want to ask, like, I just want to know, can you give people a brief introduction to who you are? Like, what was it? What was your career path or hobby path or passion that got you to where you are today as being a CEO of XSpectar?
Yeah, it's a strange story. I should probably write a book one day, but I went to law school. Afterwards, I worked at the European Parliament for a member of parliament, a former Belgian minister, for a year. I quickly realized that working for somebody wasn't really for me, and I always wanted to be in independent and run my own business. I started with a partner something in real estate, and 10, 15 years later, I sold it pretty successfully. And then I was planning to not really retire, but to take it slowly. But after 3 hours, I became very, very bored, and I was reading quite a lot about NFTs and distributed ledger technology and so on. So that's when I decided to start XSpectar. You know, I was involved in quite a few projects as a community member. I supported lots of projects by purchasing a lot of NFTs, and you know, after 6 months or whatever, I got the same feeling as when I was working for somebody. I felt like, well, I've invested money in something and it doesn't really go like I want it to go. But on the other hand, I'm not a stakeholder. Maybe I'm a stakeholder to a certain extent, but I'm not a shareholder for sure. So I have no real influence in the direction that it goes. And in one of the projects that I had invested quite a lot in, $500,000 by the way, I reached out to those guys. I've met them. They moved to Portugal by then. I met them. I showed them what my intentions are and my ideas with XSpectar. I gave them the opportunity to participate, and they said, no, we will focus on what we are doing. And then I said, okay, if it's not with you, it's without you. And I started XSpectar. It's not 13 months, it's 30 months. So it's about 2.5 years ago that we started, somewhere in May 2022.
Oh, 30 miles. Okay, well, that's fantastic. Wow. So yeah, I heard that Lisbon is kind of like is like one of the places to be because of like they're very crypto friendly. So what other, I know this is like off the side. Are there any other countries in Europe that are crypto friendly? Just off the bat? If you're speaking, you're muted. Ta-da, and here we go. We may be experiencing what's known as the X factor. Get it? It's crazy. The X factor meaning like X tech. Dirk, are you there? All right. Right now you're either muted or the X platform is not cooperating.
Can you guys hear me? Because
yeah,
I'm getting bugged.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Hello? I heard you for like a split second. Okay, what we could do is if you could kindly leave the space and then come back, that usually would help. Let's see. And while we're on to that, I'm really I'm here live streaming and I'm attempting to share the screen. But wow, are we in Mercury retrograde or what? Like, but I am having like back end let's call it challenges in sharing the screen. So we're just going to roll with it. Before we go, I'm going to do a shout out to MetaMike. Hey, Sleepy. Let me see. Sleepy Ichabod. Oh, that's funny. MetaWriter, Hexadized. Hey, Conrad. What are you doing? Hey, KC, iMagic. Hey, Ossivox, Altered Alley, Kbot, CNET's Moon, Joe Soyo. Is the fridge. Hey Ross, hey Dr. Raz, Stitch Films. We have X Tweet, we have Shea, we have Dr. Avina, we have Million H. I could not. We have the Four, the Bizarre, Andy. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Jack Diamond, Mickey, Bragg Trip, Chris, Marky Parky. My goodness. H Hatter, William, OG Memes, Pendu, Bubbles, Elro, Goressa, Cheeky Trader, Cyrus, Colchin, and XRP11. I love that. I think Dirk is back with us. Let me see. Dirk, unmute your mic and see if you're back. Crossing fingers. Okay. Are you there? Wow, this is fine. It's okay. There's some people here that have requested to speak, and we're just gonna roll with it. I will add MetaMic as a speaker. Oh,
hey,
hold on.
I don't know. Apparently everybody can hear me. I got some DMs. I see that Mike jumps up. Mike, nice to meet you. I don't know if everybody can hear our good friend, the host.
Can you hear me now? Hello, Dirk. I heard you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah, Twitter Spaces or X Spaces are the biggest nightmare for any host. Especially if you have an interesting discussion, which I hope we have or will have. There is always something that goes wrong.
Yes, you know what? I literally have beads of sweat going down my face. I don't know if you can see it, but whew, I need a fan. Like literally, I was like nervous. I'm like, oh no, this is not happening. But you know what? I have a. Whew, all right. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for your patience,
No
Elon.
worries. We've hosted Spaces. We've done our XSpectacular show, Twitter Spaces. I think over 100 episodes every Monday at noon Eastern Standard. We stopped doing them because I know how hard it is, and it's like running a separate business, But no worries. We're still here, and we're all good.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Anyway, let's get started. Thank you for that little bit of about you. My goodness, you've just like what a career path. I want to get to the heart of XSpectar, or to start to get to there anyway. Tell us about the origin story and its vision. Like, I want to ask, what really inspired the creation of XSpectar, and how did the journey from concept like to reality unfold? And could you please share some of the like key milestones that shaped the company's evolution so far in its like 30 months?
Yeah, well, it started out of stupidity, or boredom at least. I have to admit, initially, I was just like, let's launch some NFTs. And then if we're successful doing that, let's actually use that money not to buy Lambos and cocaine like most people do in this space, but actually put it to use and take some responsibility for the community and actually build something. So, as I've said before, the initial goal was to build inside other metaverses or using other platforms, but I soon realized that most of them weren't that good. And the ones that are financially successful, like Decentraland and Sandbox, aren't very appealing to me because I'm a huge fan of Unreal Engine. I'm not a gamer, by the way. I have a 10, 11-year-old son. I just got him a new PlayStation because he had a very good school results, and I made him that promise. But I think that to appeal to the masses, the visual quality is pretty important. So that's why we use Unreal. And then, of course, the whole story. I align a lot with Yatsiu from Animoca Brands. I don't think we're building a game. I think we're building a platform, and the architecture, how we are building it, is exactly a copy of the internet, but then in 3D. So I think that there were a few issues with the current internet. One was 402 payment required. Tim Berners-Lee foresaw that people wanted to pay stuff, but it was never really integrated. So there we got third-party platforms like Visa and MasterCard. Using blockchain technology makes it possible to make instant peer-to-peer payments. So that's one. Then the internet, the current internet, is a one way. It's like it's like one direction. It's like there is not much interaction, even if you're chatting to people or whatever. So I think that incorporating the social aspect within the business aspect, the e-commerce aspect, is also pretty important. So that's what we try to copy from the existing internet. And then there's of course the Animoca stuff that I usually refer to, the stakeholdership. Being part of the network, being a player in the network, and not only create value, but also getting rewarded by being a part of that network.
Ah, okay. I think it's funny that you started off as an NFT, or wanted to start off as NFTs, and then now look. I cannot believe that. To me, it's unreal that you have a virtual world on Unreal Engine, and we'll get to that like in the bit.
Yeah.
Like how did that even start? Like, I know you said you loved Unreal Engine. You're not a gamer, but and yet you chose Unreal versus Unity or any other tech
Yeah, I know some
platform.
people that are active in the movie industry, and they use Unreal Engine, and I was impressed with what they're doing. And I know that, for example, Mike does a lot in spatial. What I don't, I like spatial. They were pioneers. They're doing cool things. I think they're using Unreal as well these days. However, it's like it makes no sense that you have to go to a 2D website and then to go to 3D environments. Same thing for 3D modelers or architects. They make 3D models and then they print it out on paper to show in a portfolio the 3D work printed out on paper. The thing is, you should be able to jump into a virtual world, which in my perspective is the metaverse, where you walk around and meet people, social platform, and then go places. The dynamics, the group dynamics change completely. It's very interesting from a marketing perspective as well, how people interact or act in groups. And then you can go, our home world or town square, or it's like you are going to a combination of Google and Facebook. You're meeting people, you're interacting, and then you're going places. And you go places instead of going to websites. You go together to experiences, and that can be virtual stuff, e-commerce, gaming, just simple education, community. It can be whatever. And you walk through the home world, and you go through a doorway, and the doorway acts as a hyperlink. And then you get onto somebody else's server, and people can create in that server whatever they want. And I'm strongly convinced that companies and individuals will have websites, but instead of websites as we know them now, have 3D experiences that can be private rooms to talk with friends and family or have parties or whatever. Or it can be a business that sells virtual coffee that gives you superpowers, but that also allows you to connect to an e-commerce platform to order actual coffee that gets delivered at your place, or to go to a room where we can shoot. Well, in my time, we used to shoot ducks, duck hunt on Nintendo. I don't think we can shoot ducks these days, but we can shoot whatever we want without necessarily killing other people. We can have fun. We can race cars. We can do whatever we want with friends all around the world. But there are also lots of business aspects to it. Architects or I've been a property developer for all my life. What if you are able to present digital twins in the metaverse and have people visit one-on-one copies of whatever you want to sell? If you have a very nice penthouse at Central Park in New York to sell, or somewhere in Beverly Hills, well, it's nice that you can have Russians and Chinese people and whoever, Saudis, instead of them traveling over, they can visit the exact copy of what you might have for offer to sale to them, and you can reach a global audience. It's a global audience 24/7. That's what makes it so interesting.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I'm seeing people here in the audience, the parts the part that I see anyway, and I'm pretty sure they totally agree with you. It's funny that you mentioned digital twins and the ability for people to actually view like their properties, the real life properties. There is another, I would call it, there's a spatial computing platform called Over the Reality that I'm affiliated with, but we won't talk really about them. But they do actually create digital twins through 3D mapping using Gaussian splatting, and it really is, and and oh my god, and geolocation. Whether but we can talk about that later. That in another time.
No, feel free to talk about them as well. I think we can learn from each other as well, and I never see competitors. I only see friends and colleagues. There is a company, by the way, to give you. Some people don't really get it, don't see the potential. The metaverse market, depending on whose prognosis you use, McKinsey or JP Morgan or whatever, somewhere between 1 and 15 trillion by 2030. That's big numbers. That's bigger than the movie and the music industry and the gaming industry combined. So that's probably something that we should take into consideration, and it's very early. And I don't want to be the crypto bro that says very early, very early. We are early. See what's happening or what happened with Meta and their adventure. We see what Microsoft did. One of the key elements of the future of the metaverse and the success is that stakeholdership. People owning stuff and being able to sell stuff, regardless what the platform does. And then, of course, with tokens, you create that ripple effect. I think that tokens shouldn't necessarily be used to raise capital, but that tokens should be used to get people involved. Because once you hold an asset within an ecosystem, you become way more involved, not just from a marketing perspective, but also you profit from the value that the ecosystem creates, and you're part of it, and you can contribute to it. And that's what can create exponential growth.
No, that's, you know what? I agree with you. So, for anybody that is tuning in, we are here on Tech Talk Tuesday with XSpectar's CEO, Dirk Schepens. We are also broadcasting live on Metaverse Radio and multi-streaming and doing a X Space. For those of you watching in any of the multi-stream platforms, I just shared XSpectar's website. My goodness, there's just so much to delve in, and I don't think we'll have time. But what I do want to do a little bit of a backstory. So I think it was last Friday. I was browsing through my Twitter feed or X feed, and I saw MetaMike. MetaMike was live streaming, himself in RL, doing his thing, and I joined, and then the XSpectar account joined, and they spoke. And I was of course, I'm gonna look through the Twitter X bio, and then I'm like, wait, what? Unreal Engine. Wait a minute. There's a virtual world made using Unreal Engine 5. So I love Unreal Engine 5. My metahuman is still like in limbo. I think in the old version. I think I downloaded Unreal in 2019, and then my poor computer could not like handle it, but that is fine. So I want to share something with you in terms of Unreal Engine. We have a community here. They are called the Xenu community, the ZMSS, Xenu Mob Secret Society. It's funny, but they have a 10,000 NFT collection. I think there's 280, 240 fully animated like traits or whatever. Yes, and they're all made in Unreal Engine 5. It is ridiculous. So the Xenu collection, ZMSS, is the first NFT collection that I know is fully animated, made using Unreal Engine 5. And I never heard of that. And they've been already, I think they just celebrate, I don't think I know they celebrated their 3-year in existence in Web3 last Friday. And people, see, we have Conrad, people that are shouting out the hundreds. We have CNET's Moon. Who else is here from the Xenu community? Where are you guys? I saw Thor's here earlier, but it's funny. And I was thinking, what if, like, Xenu community, you have like literally a virtual world platform that perhaps you guys can run around in. Like, I don't know. We'll have to have a talk with that, Dirk. Like, Dirk, you can probably talk to Brian.
So something that, you can make the introduction. Something that is really important. We have 4 main components. One component internally we call Infinite Horizon, which is actually the Unreal Engine, game engine, and the downloadable browser where you walk around in the environment. The backend system we call internally Fuel Stack. It's actually an Angular website that is part of our website. If you go to it, you can create an account. You can in the future use your socials, also an email address, but also connect a crypto wallet or multiple crypto wallets to your account. And that does the asset management, decentralized identity, ownership, and payments. So those are the 2 technical aspects connected to each other that actually allow you to have a Web3 metaverse, the 3D internet with the distributed ledger technology combined. And then there are 2 components that are a little bit more on the marketing side. You have to onboard people. XSpectar, the project, is to onboard community members, to get them involved, to have avatars that they can use to enter the browser, to have drivable assets or whatever. We have the partnership with Alpine, the Formula 1 team, so they have cars. They can have buildings, land plots, like any traditional metaverse, and that's to onboard the community. On the other side of the marketing part, on the onboarding part, we have the Access Builders Academy that has tutorials, documentation, a dedicated Discord channel, and that's focused on onboarding the builders, of course, the independent creators, because we have no ambition of building everything ourselves. It's impossible. Take way too much time and money to actually do that. It can only be a success if we can attract builders that are willing to use our EDK and see the potential to make money, of course, because we have to be honest, nobody does this for free. However, there are quite a few people that do this for free, but we offer them a way to monetize. So we have a community that we attract that is interested in things that are available for sale in the metaverse. We have the Builders Academy that attracts the builders that actually can create stuff, and then we have of course, the two tech parts that make everything possible. And that's the cool thing. People tend to focus on one of these things. We do all of them combined, and it's very important. Actually, we're just a big shiny marketing vehicle that also builds software.
You know what you just said when you said actually we're just a shiny big marketing company that builds software. It almost echoes the same. I had this conversation with Over the Realities CEO Davide Cutini in Miami, and that's exactly how he saw Over the Realities platform, as a marketing platform. And I was like, really? And you know what? We definitely need to get. So Over is a platform on Unity, and people have been asking, will Over ever switch to Unreal, or will they even integrate Unreal? But that's like a whole other story. The answer is no. You know what? It's like it's said already. It's just too much technology in the back end. But I'm really,
Yeah, I think that Unity has made a big strides as well in the direction of becoming way more realistic. I have considered creating a Unity EDK as well, but it's true. You have to focus. It's already pretty complicated, time consuming, and very expensive. And trying to do everything is just impossible. Or somebody has to make a deposit of $1 billion or $2 billion, and then we are pretty confident. But I don't think that I'm the prophet that knows best and that can build something that nobody else can build. Lots of people have similar ideas. The goal should be to actually make it work together and to have some standards which allow interoperability. And that's something that we have built. Everybody that uses our EDK can create all of their environments and everything will work together. They can even pick which blockchain they prefer to use, and that's how it works. However, the next step is, of course, convince people to actually use that technology. But yeah, everybody speaks about the metaverse, or regular people seem to think that we are close to Ready Player One. Well, we're not. But I think there are some interesting companies that make some stuff work. One of the limitations that we have at this stage is that we have the downloadable browser. It's currently only for Windows PC. We have Mac availability on the roadmap. However, it diverts also a little bit of other stuff that we do, and we're pretty confident that the future will be streaming. Other site is doing that with Improbable. It is possible. It's already possible. The thing is that it costs about 1 cent per minute per person. So yeah, that's pretty expensive if you keep that in mind. And lots of metaverses there are very few metaverse projects that are actually up and running and that are decent. And most of them, well, they're empty, So that's like there is some kind of, if you go to YouTube and you type in Decentraland Dead Mall or something, it's like not really a documentary, but it's a guy that makes an analysis about Decentraland without criticizing them, by the way, because they have done a great job. And they show, well, if it's an empty land, it's nothing. What is important? People are important. Why are people important? I say we are a marketing company that builds tech. I don't know, maybe we're a tech company that is pretty good at marketing, but I'm not shy to use words that some people think you shouldn't use. You shouldn't give the child a name, and it's about the people. And why is it about the people? Well, the people are the ones that bring the money, not the bots, not the NPCs. Those are just there to support that and to entertain the people. But without people, there is nothing.
no, I 100% agree with you. That it's absolutely right. So with your EDK, is it based off of Unreal Engine?
Yeah, it's actually an SDK on top of the Unreal SDK.
Okay. So how are you? Okay, I would love to know, how are you attracting content creators to create on XSpectar verse?
Well, they're actually coming to us, and my main concern was how are we going to target those people? Because getting a community and building a community in the Web3 and crypto sphere, well, we've proven that we are pretty good at doing that. I didn't really know how to approach the actual builders and the people that are into gaming and 3D development. And some of them still are very weary about everything crypto related, So that's something that we have to do with the Builders Academy, is actually explain why that stakeholdership and that ownership is so important. I see, by the way, that MK3 is in this space as well. Mattia, you can pull him up if you want. He's actually in charge of the Builders Academy, and he guides all of those builders through the process of getting to know the EDK and actually start building. He's very supportive, and it's people attract people. Again, we're going back to the people stuff. So it has been proven to be pretty easy to assemble. I thought that if we had like 5 or 10 builders, it would be a good. We have over 120 builders, and some of them are NFT projects, some of them are 3D artists, and so on. And they all have friends and colleagues and whatever that do exactly the same. So the trick, of course, is to actually get them to know us, who we are, what we do, because trust and confidence is also very important. Then to explain them how to use the technology and to guide them, because their success is our success. We don't want to extract any money out of them. We want to support them wherever we can, because if they create stuff, they will attract an audience, and that audience will bring the money, and that will make everybody very happy. So I think that's crucial. So the next step is to actually help them monetize. And at this stage, we're doing most of that manually. We have one guy from South Africa that was the first guy that actually launched the XS Tower, which is a big high-rise building in Marina City. And we started selling those apartments. And again, it should be completely automated through the website, minting, purchasing, paying. We did it now through a manual process, but we sold, I don't know even how many, but we sold like in 48 hours. He made close to $18,000 with it. He's living in South Africa with his team. They were like stoked. They said, we can't make these amounts of money in any form. And I think something with Web3 and the whole platform stuff is we don't have to know you. People don't have to know where you're from. You guys are in the US. Well, lots of people in the US that do 3D development, they charge a lot, and they deserve it. However, there are people in India or in the Middle East or in Asia that are equally as good in creating that stuff. And as soon as somebody from Europe or the US knows that they're from a less developed country, they tend to pay less. In this whole sphere, everybody's equal. It's about the quality of your work. And nobody will ever accuse me about being a leftist or being a communist, but I sincerely believe by doing this that we can change the world and that we can help people out of poverty and that we can give opportunities to people. And that's what it's all about. And it works both ways, because for the purchaser, it's also interesting because the prices will be lower than what he would usually pay, because it's supply and demand,
Yeah, you know what, Dirk? I didn't expect to feel this way with XSpectar, and particularly the conversation. The more I hear you speak, the more I am genuinely really, really interested, not only on the XSpectar platform, but I love where it's coming from. I feel like authentically and genuinely you're coming from a heart space. And I know we don't really speak about that kind of thing in this very Web3 world, but I feel like we really do. I'm really feeling it. And especially when you have a C-suite, like a CEO and CFO, because you're also a CFO, who is coming in with good values, or values that resonate with me anyway, and values that not just resonate with me, but if you think about it, is good for the community, like a global community. That's always going to go far with people. And I really, really appreciate you just feeling comfortable and sharing like that part of your belief and what XSpectar is. And you know what? I'm just going to say we have a lot of content, XR content creators here. We have a lot of 3D content creators here. And I know there are people here that have been wanting to speak, and I will let you up. I did invite Mickey3, MKD on, but maybe they're not able to. I'd love to hear from them. We can definitely have you guys on again because there's just so much to unpack. You guys, I want to, Meta Mike, I know you requested to speak, and then we're going to go to Osavox. And you know what? Sleepy Ichabod, you wanted to speak as well. I'll bring you up. And then there's CNET's Moon. But I want to particularly get to speak with Osavox. And that will be an interesting thing because I'm pretty sure they have something to say in regards to this whole topic. Meta Mike, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just came up mostly because you were having problems, and I was trying to see if I could help, maybe, or whatever, while you were sorting through them. But yeah, no, I think it's a great introduction. Like, I know I haven't been building a lot on over the reality, but you're still obviously in the plans of everything. And I look at over the reality as the possible kind of like doorways to all these other metaverses that we're playing with, whether it's like spatial or Expector or even Decentraland and all of these things, is that we've got to go out there. It keeps saying everybody's like waiting for something. They're like, well, when this happens and when this new headset comes and when oh, it's gonna be when. But like, just go out there and do it. Like, make some signs, print some QR codes and some things, and stick them up places, especially in an area where you can buy some over the reality land. And when you scan it, the doorway pops up and says like enter Expector or spatial or whatever, and has all the information you need to know, where you're like, hey, in order to see this stuff, you're going to need a computer or this or that or however it works, and give people a little taste. So, like, if you can't really directly link straight from over the reality to Expector, you could create like a skybox image of your Expector environment that you could put as the doorway kind of halfway point to entice people to be like, hey, this is worth spending the time to download the app and to do all the things and to jump in to, like, feast on all the eye candy, right? So, and from Expector's point too, it's the same thing on their end, where like he was saying, well, we got to track builders and stuff. Like, you're the Unreal Engine version of Spatial, and Spatial attracts builders because like we can go there and make a game. Somebody who doesn't even know how to make games can slowly learn how to make a game. You're not going to make some amazing game and right away if you don't know what you're doing, but at least you can slowly learn the little bits and pieces. And those bits and pieces of these gamified objects are simple things like, oh, I got a turny little 3D object for my Twitter, and when you click it, it like goes to follow me on Twitter, and all these little tiny interactions. Oh, I open the door when I press the button, and all those little stuff can add up to you learning how to build the game. And now with Spatial and Expector, we have this like open world potential. Lot. Spatial's not an open world, but you can still make like what we're a smaller version of that little city block that has different games and doorways around for you to find. And same with Expector, is all these indie game devs can be going to these platforms, learning how to build games, and the rest of us can have a game log that you can explore, and you can find people. And they're like, oh, did you play this one yet? Oh, come over here and check this thing out. This one's really crazy, right? So I think it could be something really fun where in the future, if it's like there's lots of different experiences in games to like explore, that just basically replaces these more like 2D boring game boxes and things that all the gamers are hanging out on.
No, that's true. I appreciate your feedback and your insights. I really do. And I really want to thank you so much for having that just pop up live stream last Friday where I joined and I got to hear Expectar and find out about them. Um, Before we get to Osavox, I sure hope you still have time, Osavox. Dirk, why the name Expectar? Like, why did you choose? What is Expectar?
Yeah, well, it was in a time where XRPL related projects were very upcoming, and most of them used an X in the as the first letter of their project. And I'm 42, when I was young, I was a huge James Bond fan, and in James Bond franchise, you have Spectre, which is, of course, the organization that wants to take over the world. And I thought that was pretty interesting and funny as well. My lawyers, of course, told me to stay far away from the franchise that is owned by the Broccoli family. In the meantime, XSpectar is, by the way, a registered trademark in most big or jurisdictions. But yeah, that's how it came. We initially also had some kind of, I don't know what it stands for. We came up with Spectar, XSpectar. It's also, XSpectacular. Something is spectacular. We are a spectator. There are multiple ways to explain it. I think that the initial, what did we came up with? It was the Society for the Protection of Equity tokens and real estate. I don't know. We had our first white paper was very much themed in the agents, the special agents or secret agents, and a lot of James Bond's connection, but it's been like 2.5 years. We've evolved so much from our initial ID. I also think that's pretty important because we didn't have a set idea of what our end goal was. Now we do, of course, but it grew organically, and I think that's something that is typically Web3 as well, the organic growth. You don't know what you're investing in or getting involved in initially. I didn't know that either, and lots of people had a lot of confidence in me and what we were doing, and they were willing to spend quite a bit of money on that, buying digital assets, which allowed us to actually build stuff. To give you an idea, the XRP ledger didn't have NFTs when we launched. The volume on the XRPL is, in comparison to any EVM chain, ridiculously low. Most people on the XRPL are solely focused on Ripple and banks and finance institutions and whatever. So, and on top of that, 5 weeks after we launched, Terra Luna went down, afterwards FTX, and then Silicon Valley Bank. So we started out right before very, very hard times in crypto. I think in total, and I don't know the numbers by heart, but that we were able to generate close to $10 million in revenue and reinvested everything back into the project. So again, no external investors, no VCs, nothing. That's pretty amazing. If you look at the EVM side, ETH or EVM chains in general, most of those ecosystems are somewhere between 100 and 500 times bigger than the XRPL. Imagine us deploying what we have already built on one of those chains, or integrating multiple chains and putting that to the availability of communities on these chains. I'm pretty convinced that we can do a 10x with our eyes closed.
Wow. That is okay. All right. I don't have much to say about that. I'm just listening. So I do want to say that XRP was one of the alt tokens that I got. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're such an idiot. Why?" I'm still holding on to my XRP. So shut up, everybody. It is what it is.
Let's not go into that discussion.
No, I know.
Well, it's still one of the most or the biggest cryptocurrencies, So I think that, I think we should avoid the subject. I think that you can make quite a bit of money with crypto, but it's very hard as well. It's pretty stressful. I became more and more a believer in Bitcoin. I think that from a builder's perspective, that everything EVM related is where you have to be, because there are people and you have to go for the low-hanging fruit. We had big discussions with XRP army people that say, well, your product isn't good enough, and then I speak with Yuga Labs and Binance Labs and other big players, and they say, what you have is one of the best things we've ever seen, but you're on the wrong chain. So that's a little bit contradicting. It's very, very hard to build something, what we're building and what you guys are building as well, and convince people. So either they are not crypto natives and they are 3D people or gaming people and they don't really like crypto. So then it's really hard to convince them, not only for your product, but also to get into crypto and to create a wallet and all that crap. On the other hand, the crypto brothers are often not the ones that will be the end users. They are interested and they're willing to spend money to help you build it. And 80% of them just buys assets in the hope to be able to sell it for more. And that's okay. But you have conflicting interests, you know? You want to reach the end user, the people that spends time in the metaverse, and the developers that create stuff. And then you have the crypto crowd that actually helps you build the stuff, but that doesn't necessarily has the end goal that your company should have. And to unite all of that, that's pretty tricky. And it's like not running a regular business, you know. Once you have a token out, it's also a little bit of crowd management. I get regular death threats, you know. I have people that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in what we are doing, and they're the most chill of everybody. Every time we do something that I think will be controversial, I give them a call and they all say, we just want you to succeed. Even if it goes 90% down, we don't care. On the other hand, you have 10,000 other people that spend $100, and when the price goes down by 3% and they lose $3, they start sending me messages that they want to kidnap my son and that they want to kill me. You know, it puts another layer of stress to already a complicated business.
Wow, I feel you. Now, you know what? There are so many tangential spaces for topics that we can discuss, particularly what you have just mentioned. There's definitely different layers of mentality when it comes to the type of people in crypto in Web3. That you know what I mean? Like, it's funny that you just said people who have invested tens of thousands, they're chill, and those for $100, they're the ones that are so mostly emotional. And I could see that. And that's just how it is when you're in this space. But unfortunately, I'm really sorry that you have to deal with that. And I'm pretty sure I got death threats. And I was just a community manager for Over the Reality. And somebody it's funny, it was like 3 years ago, somebody sent a bunch of over tokens to some smart contract address, and then they lost everything. And then they DM'd the Twitter, and then it was me. And then they were like, I want to get my money back. You guys need my money. It's you. So because I was the one who was answering, they literally said they were going to send my lawyer, sue me. And I was like, what the F? Like, oh, that's just, you guys, hold on a second. This is real life. Just hold on. Oh my God. Sorry. Oh my God.
Well, I'll keep talking in the meantime. Ossevax, nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you, Dirk. So Ossevax is one. So I met Ossevax from Over the Reality. To me, they are the first Web3 entity that created its own, I guess, independent metaverse. And Ossevax is also the first NFT in Web3 that I got. I was gifted, or I actually won. And it's funny, I just did a YouTube video on a review of Over's new web builder, and I have still the Ossevax NFT has my in my assets. So I really love Ossevax. Hello, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute indeed. Thank you very much. It's been very interesting to listen to you, DS. Good stuff. Apologies, my brain isn't working too fast. I'm living in Bali at the moment, and it's we're quite far away into the night. But it's been very interesting to listen to you. I guess I'll point out where I'm sort of interested in. I'm very much interested in the interoperability between worlds. So at the moment, we're speaking to, say, the Sandbox, talking about creating portals from the Otterbox world into Sandbox, and as you seamlessly go in, your character will change into a more voxelated character like their world. But I'm also interested in how it can come into, say, a platform like OVR and link the whole thing up. So I eventually envisage there being this sort of multi-platform game where, let's say, you're driving a car, and the quest of the game is to pick up these tokens that are floating in 3D space, and you drive through them, and there's a race or something. Or you could drive from one metaverse, whether it be, say, the Sandbox, into an augmented reality world where people such as ourselves, if we're plugged into it, say we're wearing our augmented reality glasses, and we've said, oh, we're gonna be playing in this game or within this sort of realm today, then say the car could drive past you, and it will be able to view you dressed as your avatar, but let's say maybe you're 600 foot tall in that game. And then you can interact with the different people from all over different places. So multi-interoperability between all these worlds, I think, is a fascinating thing. And at the moment, we're concentrating on building more very, very peculiar avatars. So some of the ones that we've been making are so surreal that it's gonna. I just envisage a sort of broad universe of, well, obviously our name's inspired by Ready Player One, but I think it can get far weirder than that. I mean, it's quite weird already. You've got King Kong fighting Batman, etc. But a truly obscure land filled with all the imagination of what any human can create. Yeah, that's basically what we're interested in, and it's been very interesting to listen to you.
Well, ideally, everybody uses our EDK and everybody creates environments on top of that, and everything will be interoperable. However, we don't have that illusion. What you're saying is right, and it should work. Of course, we would be happy to accommodate NFT holders from other projects to have their NFTs as assets and have it work in our game as well. The thing is, there has to be some kind of monetization model. And if we allow everybody inside, well, that's good from the perspective that we need money, we need people to make it more fun and more attractive for other people. However, somebody has to do the job, and we can only guarantee, of course, that assets from another project or coming from another metaverse work if the basic technical rules of our platform are followed. But I sincerely suggest you, by the way, Carmen, I can't pin a tweet, for example, even though I'm a speaker, but I sincerely recommend you to reach out to Mattia. We have a link. I see that Jacob is in here or was in here. There are some community members in here. Jacob, can you maybe can you post below the Twitter space a link to the application for the Builders Academy? It doesn't cost anything. You can get in touch. You will be in a group, Discord group dedicated to other builders of all kinds of levels of experience. We have people that didn't know anything about Unreal, and they have created amazing stuff. We have people that have been using Unreal for over 10 years. And the biggest compliment I got when we did our presentation and our IDs and our first alpha testing was that one of those guys, he's an actual game developer, he literally told me, and I can remember it as if it was yesterday, he told me, this is what I've been waiting for the past 7 years. And that was a huge compliment, you know?
Wow, that is amazing. Yes, I was trying to look for the link or the what is it, the Creator Academy. I'm not sure. I couldn't find it. I would love Jacob or XSpectar, the official account. I'm inviting you to speak, so perhaps you are able to pin. You're not able to pin it, Dirk. That's unfortunate. Or even at the bottom, or just do it at the bottom. I have here. You know what? I want to do a shout out to Oxavox. So nice to hear you. I can't believe you're in Bali. I remember. I think he was one of the first 3 people I interviewed. Has a creator on what they were doing on Over the Reality. So I'm so glad you've it's like you've always been there, but it's almost like you've reemerged into something like fantastic, and I really love that. I have here Hexadized. He also wants to come up to speak. I'm pretty sure he's loving the name XSpectar. Hexadized is one of the founders of One Darland. They are a group of people who are believers in the creator economy in Web3, and they are empowering not only content creators, but they're connecting XR creators with brands and businesses to build and have their presence in Web3. And there's also Altered Alley. He is an XR creator. There's Kbot. He is an XR creator primarily on voxels. I have, there is Josh Garrett. He is an XR creator on so many virtual world platforms I can't even remember. I saw Dope Stilo. He comes in and out. So Dope Stilo, he does not only podcasts, but he also does live streaming DJ sets on Spatial. I can't wait for him to live stream his DJ set on XSpectar. Would that be possible, Dirk, for someone to live stream music?
Yeah, well, it should be possible. I think with some tweaks, we should be able to accommodate that. It's something that in the end should definitely be possible. I have a very good friend that is one of the DJs he's actually the only DJ that played on every single edition of Tomorrowland, and he's very keen on doing something as well. So yeah, so the more activities, the better. At this stage, by the way, we've closed down our beta. It's actually a closed beta, so you need a specific avatar NFT to get in. They are for sale at multiple XRPL marketplaces for people that are not well versed into the XRPL. You need a specific wallet, but I strongly suggest to jump in our Discord and reach out to the mods. The avatars, we believe in distributing as many assets as possible for a relatively cheap price. So our final plots of land, for example, are now available. And if you pay in XSpectar tokens, they are at 888 XSpectar, which is somewhere around $15 each. The avatars we distributed for free, as we believe in giving value back to our community, to existing community members. And some of them sold some because they have received multiple ones. They are for sale at 20 XRP each on XRP Cafe or Bits, both the XRPL marketplace. So it's also about $10. So if you want to participate, you can easily pick up some assets on secondary markets. By the way, for the people that are in the US and that are big Formula One lovers, you guys know that between the 21st and the 23rd or 24th of November, Formula One is coming to Vegas. Thanks to our partnership with Alpine, the Formula One team, as their preferred metaverse partner, we will be able to give somebody a ticket to join me at Formula One. It will go to one of the holders of the Alpenglow. The Alpenglow is a hypercar concept car that has been developed by Alpine, and we have 888 of those that are actually drivable assets in the metaverse. If you own one of these, you get a chance of joining me in Vegas.
Wow, 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 wow. That's crazy. And you know what? The prices of the avatars and stuff that I just mentioned, very, very, very affordable. I did want to mention that. Thank you so much, Jacob, for sharing that. I pinned up on the Nest Jumbotron, whatever you want to call it, the actual form to become a builder in the XSpectar metaverse. You guys, here's a question. I know there's somebody here in the audience that we had this semantic talk about virtual worlds. Like in one space, I called it metaverses, and it really irked them. And then they said, no, don't call it meta. No, okay, they didn't have that voice, but they said, no, don't call it metaverses. It's virtual worlds. And many virtual worlds make up one metaverse. And it's like, yeah, it's semantics, but it is what it is. So I'm going to just throw that out there. This person wants to kind of have everybody on the same page. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's true as well. There are no metaverses, there is no, everybody says, well, we are building a metaverse. Well, that's not semantically correct. There is only one metaverse, and that metaverse consists of multiple 3D experiences or virtual worlds.
Wow, he's gonna love you. I mean, yeah, there you go. You heard it. The person here who is here. I know you're loving it. If you want me to mention your name, then let me know. But we'll have another talk. Thank you so much, Dirk. You guys, if you have any questions for Dirk, please show your hands. Give me a high five, and I'll slap it back. But transparency. I literally created 10 questions to ask Dirk, and I only asked one. I know. I had a list of 10 questions, but you answered them. But I just love how it went anyway. But I do want to ask you, and I know you kind of mentioned this, but I do want to ask, who exactly is the target audience for? I know you're going to say everybody, but there's got to be, if you could pick the top 2 or 3 target audiences to join the XSpectar ecosystem or to build or to whatever, what would that be in your mind as a CEO?
Yeah, well, you already gave the answer. It probably should be people between 8 and 88 somewhere. However, from a realistic perspective, I think that we shouldn't focus as a company on the end customer. We have a big, strong community that is very excited, willing to buy assets, to spend money. I think in the next few months, we are constantly delivering on our promises. So I think that the community side is covered. We will probably have to do some marketing if we go to new chains and new communities. But I think that the most crucial part is focusing on pampering and accommodating the creators and making sure that whatever they want to build, they are able to build, and that when they have built it, they also have a way of monetizing it. Because, I can come up with a couple of ideas, but hundreds of developers will definitely have way better and way more ideas than I have. And that's how it should be. If you build a closed world, you will end up with a main street with a McDonald's and a Starbucks and whatever shop there is in any town in the world. It should be creative, and the more people that actually participate and come up with ideas, the better. We should have everything. We will have crazy shit as well. It will be the 3D internet, so there will be some shady stuff going on. There will be some people ask me, "Are you the man? How are you going to police that?" The interesting thing is that I'm not the police, and I have no intention to become the metaverse police. Your freedom ends where somebody else's begins. That's one big principle. The other one, of course, is you have to comply with the laws in the country that either you are or we are. Also pretty solid. We have the system, how we have built it is that once somebody goes through a doorway, the owner of that plot can build inside his environment whatever he wants. And we have hosted services, but you can also host it yourself on your own server. And that gives it an interesting perspective for legal liability. Whatever you do inside your building that you run on your server is not my problem. We could get a cease and desist from a government agency where we have to shut down the doorway, that people in the virtual world cannot directly access it anymore. But we can't shut you down. You can still keep going and do whatever you want, And we've seen that with the Telegram founder and with Elon Musk now and with other tech founders. It is a bit tricky, I don't want to be the one that imposes rules. However, there will be some kind of rules and enforcement, but it won't be done by me. The only thing I want to avoid is get into trouble myself, of course.
I love that. I love that answer. I love your answers. Like, as a CEO, I love that. It's true.
And lots of people ask me, and that's a more difficult one. I have a good friend, Eugene Capon, who has written a couple of books about metaverse and is also very occupied with metaverse security. Another good friend of mine in Belgium, he has one of a very big company. It's called Studio 100, and they make musicals and kids stuff, and they have amusement parks and all kinds of stuff, kids related. Something that's will be a little bit tricky and that we definitely should be very careful about is that, as I said before, there will be all kinds of craziness. And I'm a big proponent of craziness. People that know me can probably confirm. However, we should be able to protect children from things that they shouldn't be involved in.
Wow, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of these virtual worlds, they kind of like, what's it called, the gate to address that. But I'm really glad you brought that up. Wow, guys, it's 8 minutes past the hour. Dirk, I know you haven't slept because you were on some, I don't know, like, what is it? Solana Twitter space for 9 hours.
Every time we launch something, the volume that we generate on the XRP ledger is about as big as the 50, 60, 70 other biggest projects combined. There is no project on any chain that does relative volume, NFT volume on that specific chain as high as we do on the XRPL. So a couple of days ago with the meme craze, and there is a new platform which is called First Ledger that introduces an easy way like pun.fun to launch memes on the XRPL. And I had a long discussion with a couple of friends and I said, why don't we launch a meme as well? And I have memes, it's a love-hate relationship. I see the advantages that a meme can bring for a chain or a project or whatever, the eyes, the new people, and so on. But I also see the disadvantages. So it's a tricky one. But Saturday night after dinner, I launched a meme, which I intend to give completely to the community and let it be community ran. But in like 90 minutes, we had a volume of close to 2.5 million US dollars. Again, something that nobody has ever seen on the XRP ledger. So that gave me some extra stress and workload. We didn't even have an X account, a Telegram. That's all been set up. Something for the people in here that are following us. I've been talking to my friends at Bitrue. They might list us, but more important, our friends at C14 in New York. They will be integrating it so that everybody worldwide can purchase it using fiat, euros, pounds, yens, dollars, everything. And I think it should be done in a couple of hours. So if you want to see how that works, we have done something similar with XSpectar. If you go to the website get.xspectar.com, you will end up at the C14 page and you will see how that works. So yeah, lots of things going on simultaneously. People ask me why a meme coin. Well, I'm running a business, self-sustainable. We have to find some form of, and this is not about creating revenue actually, but this is about offering products that, it's like you go to Disneyland, you sleep there, you eat there, you have fun there. XSpectar wants to offer everything for everybody, and hopefully people that make money with memes, well, they will flow back into the metaverse and use their profits to buy assets in the metaverse. The slogan of the meme project, by the way, is all the money. All the money is something that in the XRPL community is used a lot because all the XRP holders think that all the money will flow through the XRP ledger. And then the ticker is ATM. So we chose an ATM machine to represent all the money. And there's a lot of things to do with that as well. We might give a free NFT mint for holders of at least this amount of ATM tokens. And then maybe those NFTs will represent ATM machines, and those ATM machines might be usable in the metaverse where people can. So but we're doing everything organically. I have pretty good ideas, but they come as time goes by, and nothing is planned out. I always take a lot of feedback from the community as well. And let's just go with the flow and have fun and see where we end up.
Oh, now I'm understanding it. Yes, you have been tweeting quite a lot about the ATM token. And I kind of I didn't know if that you were affiliated with that, or you were just kind of like shilling, or you were just loving that. I didn't know that that's directly related to what you were just mentioning.
I never chill anything that is unrelated to us. I never take any payment to promote anything. So no, if I'm speaking about something, it's either because I really like it, because I believe in it, or because it's related to what we're building ourselves.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm hearing the sound and I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? Really, no questions. Dirk, is there an opportunity for you to come back and maybe we can get what is it? Who is he? MK3 or your community? Because there are some questions I wanted to ask. And it's fine that I didn't get to ask them. It's totally fine because I love how this goes, but I kind of personally want to know more. And instead of me just hogging you and asking questions behind your DM, I'd love to share that with the community. So could we do this again?
I work almost 24/7, so I know that this is very important, and I like this conversation. So I would be happy to come back, and we should talk about. There are so many other things that we should touch base on. I see that Richard has his hand up as well, so happy to hear what he wants to ask.
Yes, hey Richard, come on up. Thank you for being so patient. I know you requested to speak such a while ago, but high five, Richard. C-Nuts Moon.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing great.
I want to thank you, Digi. Shout out to Osavox and Metal Mike. DS, you just said some things that really amazed me. So I'm not a creator or a dev, but I do represent a technology that I think is very compatible with what you're talking about. We have a project, Xenu, who came out in March of 2022, and we are made in Unreal Engine 5, 3D animated, dance, fly, a walk, whole lot of different things. And I don't want to take too much of your time because I know it's valuable. But I would like to know if there's any way outside of this space, let it be through Digi or whatever, man, that I can connect you to our dev to see if there could be some kind of collaboration. Also within our ecosystem, a layer 1 blockchain has been developed, Mainnet Z, that's relatively new, that was launched in 2023 of December 21st. And we are EVM compatible. We are also been made by developers for developers. And what has been created is a space for a platform such as yourself to connect with, man, so that we can all grow and maximize our genius and creativity together. I'm very interested. I'm not the one per se to talk to. I'm just an investor in the project, been with them for almost 3 years, but I'm excited about what I've heard. And you're the first platform that I've seen, a virtual world, man, that is made in Unreal Engine 5 that is like perfectly connected to what we got going on. So I just wanted to take this time to bring that to your attention. I followed you, just what I'm saying. So however we can connect, man, through Digi or whatever, I would like for you to talk to the people who are a lot more informed than me that can really educate you and get the information to see if we can move further within our two protocols.
I would love that. I would love that. It's nice to meet you, Richard, and we can do it through DG. Sorry, I have to apologize because I get like about 2,000 messages a day. I don't even have time to read them, let alone reply to them. So I don't want to be rude, but if somebody tries to reach me, make sure you jump into the XSpectar Discord and reach out to one of the mods or whatever else, whatever other possibility you can find. Don't feel embarrassed to keep pinging me or tagging me or whatever. Eventually we will connect for sure. But yeah, definitely interested.
Man, I'm definitely gonna do that. If I gotta go through Digi, because I know she can reach you. You understand?
She can reach me.
Yeah, if I gotta go through Digi, because she's very familiar with our protocol, you know, she's attached to us as well. You understand what I'm saying? So we're definitely gonna get together. We're gonna pursue this further. Like I said, I know there's a lot of genius up in here. I'm not a creator or anything. It's just that when you spoke about what you're doing, it's very compatible to what we have and what we're doing as well. So I think that this can be a relationship that's beneficiary to the both of us, just as we move further in this crypto space. So I'll definitely be connecting with Digi, and she can give you the information that you may need to proceed more and to do your homework and your research of what we got going on. I think you'll be very pleased with what you find.
I'm very curious as well. By the way, in the meantime, I'm scrolling to the people that are in here. I see Josh Garrett as well, tech founder, Mystic Metaverse builder, full stack architect. There are lots of interesting people in here, you know, because usually those spaces are, and it's not that those people aren't interesting, but the crypto bro spaces and the meme coin schizos, it's also fun, but I see lots of people that I would love to connect to and really want to invite them in what we're doing. You don't have to spend any money. Repost is nice. Just getting connected, and what Richard says, you know, there can be some synergies, and if we are able to make each other grow, we're definitely interested in builders, so 3D developers, people that are involved in AI, people that are involved in VR and stuff. We are testing lots of things, but like we're a team of 58 people, which is huge. Plus then the 120 plus independent developers. It's a very big shit to handle. But we always, you know, it should be decentralized. People shouldn't depend too much from us. We should just deliver the tools to have those people build whatever the fuck they want to build, you know. And that's why we need feedback from those people, because we have to figure out exactly what they want and how they want it, so we can create that and then let the beast go.
Wow. I love that. Thank you so much. And you know what, CNET's Moon / Richard, thank you so much for coming up. I did kind of like mention that, you know who'd be perfect to connect Dirk with? Brian. Totally. And
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And I just wanted to say to you, Dizzy, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on that, but also because you're connected to the both of us, you're connected to DS and to our mainnet Z and Zenu, that maybe you can make that happen. I have to use you for the conduit. You understand what I'm saying? Because you seem to connect so many people, but I would definitely like to get him this information because you know what our NFTs do, and you also know the protocol that has been developed through mainnet Z. So just listening to him, seeing that different platforms he's attached himself to, I think it's just a win-win for the both of us. So I'm just very encouraged about what the future holds. So, we're definitely a talk behind the scenes, Digi. Thank you. Thank you, DS, for listening to me. Thank you for all the genius minds on the panel as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I love hearing your voice. And, I'm always on your Twitter space with you and Arnold on Sundays. I don't always make it to Arnold's space in the mornings. And I see my brother J-Rock down there. You're also my brother, but J-Rock, shout out to J-Rock. Shout out to so many people. Like, there's just so many here. Guys, it's 20 minutes past the hour. Dirk, I hope you're good for time. Do I have any other questions I wanted to ask you?
I want to apologize as well because usually I'm fully doxxed, by the way. I'm never late. This time I was at least 1 or 2 minutes late. I didn't go on the live stream, but that was because of technical issues. It's pretty amazing, but being a Web3 tech company founder, I'm actually not that good with computers, strangely enough. And I couldn't get my camera working. I wouldn't do it to you to look at me today as well with the with the lack of sleep I had. It's I'll send a nice picture,
No, that's fine because you know what? We'll definitely bring you on again. There's so many questions. There's so many things to talk about with XSpectar, the ecosystem, your insights, like everything going on. There's just not enough time. I always say this, but I really appreciate it. Guys, you don't know what happens. It's a poop show. And that's just me and my little dog before I get on live. Like I'm running around like crazy, like la, 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 and then I turn it on. It's just insane. But yeah, Dirk, you need some sleep as one of the as one of the leaders in the Web3 space. I'm just loving that XSpectar is built on Unreal Engine. I love that there are different virtual worlds utilizing all the different gaming engines or whatever you want, movie, whatever you want to call it, semantics platforms out there. You know why? It's just, it really is everybody already knows that it's really a creator economy, and it's the content creators, similar to what programmers and developers are, like they're the kings of. If you're a content creator in this Web3 space, you pretty much hold the key. You hold the key to portals, man. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, shout out to Songs of Eden. Oh, wait a minute. Songs of Eden, aren't you in Denmark? Dirk, sorry to dox you. Are you in Denmark, right?
No, I'm currently in Belgium. My home base is Luxembourg, a tiny country that nobody knows. But Denmark or Jacob, our friend, I don't know if he's still in there. He's actually in Denmark.
Oh, okay. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if Songs of Eden is in Denmark. Oh, he's like, no, he's not. All right. Oops, my bad. Gotta do that on my. It's just insane how you get so many people from all over the globe in these spaces.
Americans and geography are not the best combination, though.
Hey, I'm Canadian and I know my geography, but I really thought you were in Denmark because isn't the company in Denmark?
Yeah, we have our headquarters in Luxembourg, and then we are in Delaware in the U.S. as well, and in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates.
Oh, okay. Just so you know, I'm not American. I'm Canadian. I know my geography. So Songs of Eden. Hello, welcome.
Hello. I'm the neighbor to the Danes. I'm in Sweden, so we're very close.
All right. There you go. Who's laughing? Altered Alley's laughing. Speaking of, Dirk, are you doing anything? Is XSpectar doing anything for Halloween?
We have a scavenger hunt inside of the metaverse where people need to find the pumpkins and then they get rewards. So yeah, that's something that we're currently accommodating.
Okay. I asked that because I see Altered Alley and Joe Soyo, and I know Altered Alley has built like crazy haunted spaces on spatial and over the reality, and Joe Soyo actually created 13 haunted hexes and over the reality. Like, it's insane. And
So
I know
one of the guys that works not with us, but actually one of our builders contests is XArt. He's in this space as well. Feel free to reach out and ask him about his experience with XSpectar as well. DMs on the XSpectar account are always open, so if you're interested in whatever we're doing or want to participate or want to be involved or whatever, just feel free to send out DMs. There is always, or there should always be somebody 24/7 to answer. If they don't put out a post, tag me, I will notice it for sure, and I will be very angry at them that they kept you waiting. But yeah, one of the things that we are pretty keen on as well is customer service, and it works for both community members and builders. We're a business that operates 24/7, and I really want accurate answers very soon.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. I'm bringing up here Wall Street Bulls up onto the speaker stage. Hey, Wall Street Bulls, high five. Nice to have you.
Hey, thank you. Hi, DS. I have one question. As you know, my kids play a lot of Roblox. It's not a day which goes where they ask me to buy, the tokens what Roblox sells. Irrespective, they're not even getting anything in return. So, DS, any plans, like till what extent we are in a technology from the blockchain to integrate XSpectar and Metaverse in PS5?
Well,
that's my question.
Yeah, if you ask that question to any other founder, they will all say yes, we will do it. And of course we want to do it. However, it's not like I can call Sony and ask them to get us on the platform. Lots of those bigger companies, Microsoft as well, Meta for sure, Apple Store, they are still very careful with blockchain technology and crypto. And that is probably for several good reasons. One is to protect themselves because they don't like competition, but there is also another reason probably that it's legal side. With my legal background, we have always tried to be fully compliant. However, if you don't have clear regulation, it's very hard to comply if there's nothing. And operating worldwide and being in several countries doesn't make it easier. So I think that in the next few months and years, I sincerely hope in Europe we will have MiCA regulations in place starting next year or the end of this year. I hope sincerely that the SEC or whatever government agency is responsible will create some framework, because it's really hard for serious builders. You're competing with cowboys. You're competing with people that don't care about anything, and they just launch stuff and sell stuff and take the money, and then they usually don't build anything, and that's frustrating. I think that any serious builder is definitely very keen on having some kind of framework, so we know what we can and cannot do. And after that, probably we will be able to get integrations with those bigger companies and platforms. We're in very close contact with NVIDIA. We're in very close contact with Epic as well. Steam, you can download XSpectar browser and connect to Steam. We have a community member that did it and that actually used the controller and that used the VR set and so on. So that's very important. End customers want ready-to-go products. What we should be focusing now is actual builders and developers that can make that easier, that integrate NPCs and AI. We're doing lots of it ourselves, but the goal should be to assemble those people and to offer them a platform where they can do all their mojo and magic for several reasons. You have lots of modders in the gaming community. They do it because they're living in their mother's basement and they just like to do it. What if we can attract all of those people and offer them a way to actually make money doing what they are already doing?
Yes, I have
I'm disconnected, by the way. My sincere apologies. I dropped my son, my 11-year-old son, up at my mom, his grandmother, and he keeps calling me. So that's one of the few reasons why I probably should cut this off, because he's pretty important to me, and I think that I need to give him a call.
Oh no, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Dirk. Please spend time with your son. Please get some rest. You guys will definitely have Dirk and XSpectar and the team back on in another Tech Talk Tuesday. Dirk, I really appreciate your time. Please get some rest, but do spend great time with your son.
Well, I have two other spaces that I promised to attend, and the next one is at 1 a.m. It's with Wolf 3, and it's about Web3 gaming. So my days are very, very long. You can probably hear it at my voice as well. But I'm actually pretty tired, but I live on adrenaline, and I don't take drugs. I do drink a little bit of alcohol once in a while, but no, I really, I hope that you hear it, that I'm not doing this for the money. I didn't take a salary for the past 30 months as well. I really sincerely believe that we can make a difference and that we are building something that is pretty good and that can change. And it's not that hard to stand out in this space as well, because there is so much shit that if you are actually building something good, well, people will notice you and will reward you for it. And that's why being consistent and delivering is something very important. Because of that track record and that reputation, the meme coin we launched 2 days ago went to 2.5 million in 90 minutes. Not because of any other reason, because people know that when we do something, we're doing it properly.
Wow, congratulations to that. And that's a great message to leave off with for anybody here listening and who's going to be listening in the future. Totally be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing, because if you put out quality and you are genuine and in terms of your intention, then people will notice and resonate with you. That's perfect. The Wall Street, I'm so glad. Thank you for joining and asking that question. Songs of Eden, thank you. MetaMike, CNET Smoon, I really appreciate you guys, and also Vox for joining. I know Hexadice wanted to come on, but I don't know. I think he's out and about. So we'll end this space now. Thank you everyone again for attending. And yeah, we will follow, please, of course, follow Dirk, follow XSpectar, and there's XArt. I followed XArt, and I followed Jacob as well. I will definitely connect you with Brian, the COO of Mainnet Z and the ZNU community. You'll definitely, I can't wait for that discussion, to be honest. I know it's going to happen. I just want to do a shout out to Asavox. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm so glad you're still around. There's a lot of projects that have come and gone, but there are people here that are solid, and I've seen the consistency, and I'm really loving it. What else? Okay, guys. I was gonna do a shout out to the room, but it's just gonna take way too long. I want to thank you so much, Dirk. I'll hit you up. We'll do this again, and I don't know. I'll probably you'll enjoy the Wolf 3. I often go to their spaces with Over the Reality, so they always have really great speakers and topics. So before we leave, I will say for those of you on Metaverse Radio that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The host, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interests in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. And with that said, everyone have a great Tuesday. If you're celebrating Halloween in 2 days, stay safe. Don't drink too much, but stay safe. And yeah, November's coming around. All right, Dirk, get some sleep. Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. And hope to talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Alrighty, I'm gonna close out the live stream. I'm definitely gonna close out what's it called? Ow, 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 my little dog. She wants to play. How am I gonna end this? Okay, so I'm gonna close out Metaverse Radio. Last time I didn't, and it just kept going on and on. So guys, thank you so much for watching or listening. I know I'm a talking head, but it is what it is. I really appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. And let's end the stream. There's so many things to end. Okay, bye-bye.